Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news, all right. Folks, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most significant moves for the Giants in recent memory. Rumors are swirling that the Giants are eyeing a blockbuster move involving none other than Patrick Surtain II from the Denver Broncos. Yes, you heard that right. Patrick Surtain II, the cornerback who's been making waves in the NFL as one of the elite shutdown corners, might soon be donning the Giants' blue. And if this trade happens, it could totally shake up the NFC East, elevating the Giants' defense to a whole new level and seriously shifting the balance of power in the division. Let's start by understanding the context here. The Denver Broncos, sitting at 3-11, are in a bit of a rebuild mode. Their secondary has been giving up big yardage, allowing roughly 270 passing yards per game in 2025, which is quite alarming considering the talent they have. Surtain, on the other hand, has been shining bright. This guy has been a lockdown presence on the field, turning heads with his incredible stats: 6 interceptions, 15 pass defenses, and a PFF grade of 91.7, which puts him among the top cornerbacks in the league. His coverage metrics are off the charts, with a 41 EPA, expected points added, allowing just 49% completion rate against him, and a YAC, yards after catch, allowed of only 3.5 yards. Despite suffering an ankle injury in Week 5 that sidelined him for a game, Surtain has been performing at an elite level. His career stats are impressive: 20 interceptions, 55 pass defenses, and consistently making plays in man-to-man coverage, which the NFL increasingly values. Now, why would the Broncos consider trading someone like Surtain? Well, the odds of them making a deep playoff run are slim with a 3-11 record, and their focus right now is on building for the future. Their cap situation is a concern too. They have roughly $25 million in cap space for 2026, which is quite a burden, especially when they want to extend players like Jerry Jeudy. The Broncos are prioritizing draft picks and assets that can help them rebuild the offensive line and other key areas. They're skeptical about paying big bucks for a corner like Surtain when they're looking at a rebuild, and the trade rumors suggest they might be open to moving him for a first and second round pick, which the Giants could definitely offer. So, what's in it for the Giants? Well, for starters, Surtain would be a game changer for a secondary that's been struggling this season. The Giants' pass defense has been a weak spot, allowing 1.6 touchdowns per game deep, and their secondary has been vulnerable, especially with Art Green injured and on IR. Bringing in Surtain could boost their coverage significantly, making it much harder for opponents to exploit their secondary. Analysts project that Surtain's presence could increase the Giants' interception rate by around 20%, while also reducing big plays by about 25%. That's a massive upgrade, especially when you consider how critical turnovers and limiting big plays are in close games. If we look at the numbers, Surtain's impact on the Giants' defense could be comparable to what we saw with Tramon Sneed's trade to the Packers, adding roughly 140 fewer yards allowed in 2025. His ability to neutralize top receivers like C.D. Lamb or other WR1s would elevate the entire unit. Imagine a defense where Surtain is locking down the opposing team's best receiver, freeing up other players to make plays and creating more turnovers. The Giants' defense could transform from a middle-of-the-road unit into a formidable, game-changing force, especially in critical moments. And this isn't just about individual stats. It's about the strategic impact. Surtain is an elite man-to-man cover guy, capable of neutralizing the best receivers on the other team. That means the Giants can employ more aggressive coverage schemes, trusting their corners to stick with receivers longer without fear of big plays. This in turn facilitates more pressure on the quarterback, which is crucial given the Giants' ongoing issues with pass rush consistency. With Surtain's ability to shut down top targets, the Giants' defensive coordinator can be more aggressive, dialing up blitzes and stunts to confuse opposing quarterbacks, knowing their secondary can hold up. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The Giants are currently 2-12, and their secondary is one of the most vulnerable units on the team. The addition of Surtain would give them a true lockdown corner, a player who can elevate the entire defense and help them close out games more effectively. It's a move that would send a message to the league that the Giants are serious about competing again, even in a season that's been about rebuilding and developing young talent. The fans have been clamoring for a splash move, and while this would come at a cost, likely a first-round pick and a second-round pick, it could be well worth it when considering the potential payoff. Looking at the playoff odds, the impact of adding Certain could be significant. Currently, the Giants' Super Bowl odds are around plus 50-0, which reflect their long shot status. However, with Certain, projections show that their chances could jump to about plus 18-0, especially if he can help contain high-powered offenses like the Cowboys. Certain's ability to cover WRs like CeeDee Lamb and slow down the passing attack could be a game-changer in the NFC East, which is already highly competitive and filled with talented offenses. His presence would make the Giants a more formidable opponent, especially when facing division rivals who rely heavily on their aerial attack. From a tactical standpoint, Certain's addition aligns perfectly with the Giants' goal of strengthening their defense. His elite man-to-man coverage skills would neutralize WRs like CeeDee Lamb, elevating the entire unit to a more stable, consistent level. This would make the secondary less vulnerable to big plays, reducing the number of high-impact completions and increasing the number of turnovers forced. The Giants could then focus on applying pressure, knowing their secondary can hold its own against even the most talented receivers in the league. Of course, there are concerns from the Broncos' side. Odds of winning the Super Bowl are currently over plus 25-0, which is pretty bleak. They're focusing on rebuilding their offensive line and acquiring draft capital, rather than paying a premium to retain Certain, especially with his $25 million cap hit in 2026. The Broncos are prioritizing assets that can help them rebuild their team from the ground up, and that likely includes trading Certain for picks that can be used to bolster their trenches and other needs. But for the Giants, this move is a potential game-changer. It's a bold, aggressive step that could turn their struggling secondary into one of the league's most feared units. It's about making a statement. They're not just here to compete. They're here to win, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. The addition of Certain could be the missing piece that turns this season around, especially if they can capitalize on his elite coverage skills and leadership. As we look ahead, the Giants' front office will have a lot to consider. The trade would not only fill a critical void, but also set the tone for the rebuild. It'd be a move that signals their intent to contend in the near future, possibly making the playoffs and pushing for a deep run. And with the NFC East as competitive as ever, having a corner like Certain could be the difference maker in those tight, high-stakes matchups. So Giants fans, this could be the move we've all been waiting for. A trade that not only addresses immediate needs, but also sets us up for sustained success. It's exciting to think about how this could reshape the Giants' defense and elevate our chances of making noise in the postseason once again. The potential is there, and all eyes will be on the front office to see if they pull the trigger on this bold move. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster trade? Do you think Certain is the missing piece for our defense? Would it be worth giving up a first and second-round pick? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Giants news. Let's keep the passion alive and keep pushing forward, because our Giants are on the rise, and this could be the start of something special.